everyone, it's Madeline, and this video is all about what to expect when visiting Olympic National Park. Located on Washington's Olympic Peninsula, Olympic National Park has so much to offer. Made up of several distinctly different ecosystems, this park has the beautiful Olympic mountain range, lush rainforest, and 70 miles of coastline. The park is split up into several areas, and there is quite a bit of distance to travel when visiting. It's important to keep that in mind when planning your trip. And if you stick around until the end of the video, we're going to discuss our own trip to Olympic National Park. Things to do. Drive up Hurricane Ridge. Hurricane Ridge is the best place to get incredible views of the Olympic mountain range. You can hike the trails, break for a picnic, or stop into the visitor center. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for wildlife along the path, such as deer and marmots. Experience the Hoh Rainforest. Moss-covered trees give off a mystical feel in this unique treasure that will make you feel like you're in another world. Take the Hall of Mosses trail into the forest and enjoy the peace and quiet that these tall, lush trees can offer. Plus, more wildlife. Keep an eye out for the famous Roosevelt elk. Ruby Beach. Olympic National Park is also a marine park. These rocky beaches look out over the sprawling Pacific Ocean. Spend your afternoon walking the beach and be sure to take your camera and snap these iconic views. Lake Crescent. Lake Crescent sits between the towns of Forks and Port Angeles, one of the most scenic lakes in the entire United States. Plan on spending some time taking in this beauty. On a sunny day, you'll be in awe of the beautiful deep blue water. How do I get there? Driving is a must at Olympic National Park. Highway 101 is the main road that takes you around the entire Olympic Peninsula. The park has several different entrance points along this route. It will take you a few hours to get from Hurricane Ridge to the Hoh Rainforest and then on to Ruby Beach. It's possible to do it all in one day, but be sure to give yourself plenty of time for driving. We'll discuss later in the video the logistics of visiting Olympic National Park in just one day. Where should I stay in Olympic National Park? With its vast size, considering where to stay when visiting Olympic National Park can be tricky. One option is the town of Port Angeles. With a population of over 20,000, it is by far and away the most populated area near Olympic National Park. With a few chain hotels in the area and more locally owned spots, this would be a great starting point for exploring the park. We'll put a link to some of the top-rated spots in the description below. There are also a few locally run motels in the town of Forks, which would give you better access to the Hoh Rainforest and beaches on the Pacific Ocean. The area around Olympic National Park is dotted with campgrounds and several RV parks. Do your research and pick one that is close to where you want to start or end your day. There are several lodging options offered by the National Park Service inside Olympic National Park. Those include the Kalaloch Lodge, located on Pacific Ocean, the Lake Crescent Lodge, and the Duc Hot Springs Resort, located deep within Olympic National Park. We'll put links to those locations in the description below. As we mentioned at the start of the video, we're now going to discuss our own trip to Olympic National Park. Can you do a day trip to Olympic National Park from Seattle?
Well, the answer to that question is yes. But if you're going to do that, prepare for a very, very long day.
Yeah, so we actually didn't stay in Seattle. We stayed a little bit closer, but it was still at least an hour drive to the peninsula itself, and then even more after that to get to the park entrance. So I don't necessarily recommend that because it made for a very long day, especially when we were driving back in the evening and it was getting dark.
It would be a very long driving day just to get to the park. And the park is also a lot of driving. So yes, you can do it. If you're there in the summer, you can go up Hurricane Ridge, drive over the rainforest, drive over to the beach. But honestly, I think you're looking at like 12 hours driving in the car.
And rushing.
You're going to get up early and rushing from place to place, and we don't recommend that. This park and this peninsula deserve more than one day. So even though we did it in one day.
Yeah, we learned that we wouldn't do it that way if we could do it again. We definitely would give ourselves 2 days and, take a more leisure stroll through the park than we were able to.
Yep, we absolutely would schedule more than one day. Instead of staying in Olympia, we would have stayed closer to the park the night before so we could have gotten up and explored the park earlier.
What was your favorite activity in Olympic National Park?
My personal favorite activity was the Hoh Rainforest. It was absolutely incredible. It was unlike any place I've ever been in the United States, and I think it just really transports you to an area. I can't even really find a comparable area in the United States. It's just so unique. I love the Hall of Mosses, and I said this on our vlog. I'm not sure that the Hall of Mosses picked up very well on video. We tried to get it, but sometimes nature just doesn't always film that well. But it's a very cool place, and it's a place that I wish everyone could experience just once.
Yeah, it really is just an incredible place. There really isn't anything like it. But I really enjoyed Hurricane Ridge. It was a beautiful view of the Olympic mountain range. In certain spots, you can see Canada. There's a beautiful meadow full of wildflowers. And we got to see a little bit of wildlife, some deer, and we got to see marmots. I'd never seen a marmot before, and I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. We saw a mom and a baby. And I always love seeing wildlife in the parks, so that's always going to win out in my book. What would you do next time you visit Olympic National Park?
For me, it would be spending more time at the beaches on the Pacific Ocean. We had a little bit of a delay getting our day started because of some downed trees in the road. And one thing to know if you're visiting this park is that at points in time, there's just one road around Olympic Peninsula. So if you have any kind of obstruction, you're essentially at an impasse. When we got to the oceans, the beaches area, we got there about 15 minutes after the sun had set. And there was this eerie gray light, which actually ended up being really cool. I'll never forget when we walked up because you could make out the scenery, but there was no daylight. So we wish we'd gotten there a little bit earlier so we could have experienced the sunset at the beach and got to see those in full color. But next time we go, I definitely want to spend more time in that area.
Yeah, that all kind of goes back to us saying, like, you can do it in a day, but everything has to go right for you to see everything.
Yeah, and if you try to do it all in one day, just be prepared to feel like, geez, I didn't get to fully experience this one thing I wanted to do.
I definitely would have liked, again, it all goes back to having more time because I would have liked to hike more in the park. We didn't really get to do that because we were rushing to the next spot. So I'd like to spend more time in the rainforest, spend more time up in the mountains and Hurricane Ridge, and explore trails that are in that area as well. So it all goes back to we would spend more time. That's what we would do if we went back to Olympic National Park.
Agreed.
If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more from our day in Olympic National Park, be sure to check out the vlog up on our channel now.